This is the Galley La Podcast, and today it is, we're going to be reviewing One Piece Chapter 1082. Let's go and claim it. Please like and subscribe if you haven't. I am Akainu Fanboy, the other guy is Geboss, and thank you for listening today. But we are first introduced with Chopper attacking Zeus, which is awful, and everybody would agree Zeus over Chopper. So I think this is fake news for the Chopper agenda. But what are your thoughts on that, G-Boss?
It's setting up the end game where Chopper's gonna betray Nami.
You know what? Yeah, I think that's a good theory, and I think we should make an analysis video on that later, for sure. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, Zeus he seems pretty happy about this, so is Chopper allying with the Big Mom Alliance, you know?
Oh, you mean Prometheus?
Sorry, yeah, Prometheus, yeah. The other guy, yeah. So a Prometheus Chopper Big Mom Alliance, basically, to take down Luffy.
Yeah, because Big Mom's not dead.
So maybe there are two traitors, and it wasn't just Conjuro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that idea. We'll talk about that more later. But now, I was happy. I was like, yo, this is awesome, Vice Admiral T-Bone, because he's actually like one of my favorite Marines. This is like the Galley La Podcast, you know? And now he's like dead.
Yeah.
But according to the rest of this chapter, we have to be skeptical about that, right? Because, hey, apparently no one ever dies because everything's a fake out death. But what are your thoughts on that?
No one's ever really gone.
Nope.
I actually am not sure if he's gone either. Just because the person who's claiming the bounty doesn't look like he could do that.
Yeah, and T-Bone is a very honorable guy.
Yeah.
And like one of the better people. I remember he was like really big on saving his subordinates' lives, and I think he'd be the type to be like, yo, just say I'm dead, so you can just feed your family and everything.
Yeah, so you can get the money.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I mean, it's cool to see how he's definitely climbed up the ladder, because he was actually kind of impressive in Water 7 fighting Zoro.
Yeah, well, Zoro was like, oh, this guy's actually powerful.
Yeah.
But then he one-shot him anyway.
Yeah, it was like a duel of the one-shots, basically, you know? So, yeah, but I like him, and I like his post-time skip fit with that mustache. It's pretty cool. But,
oh,
yeah, so,
is that what that is? I thought it was just like someone like had a slash across the page. I didn't realize it was a mustache.
I think it is a mustache, I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Okay. Oh, that makes sense.
Boom. This is why people listen to us, dropping the facts and logic right now, you know, the big theories.
Yeah.
But what do you think about kind of the development of the Cross Guild and everything? Because just in this first section with Sengoku kind of say, like, this is actually kind of an issue. You know, it's just interesting that they're getting developed very quickly, because they were introduced not too long ago, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of weird that they don't that they're kind of taking these bounties more seriously than pirates do. Because with pirates you don't really see a lot of concern about their bounties. It's like, oh, how high is my bounty? Not like, oh, we're being hunted. It's not really a thought for them, where it seems that Suru's putting a bigger emphasis on people going after them and how kind of fickle the people are.
Yeah, and we assume people do get caught in the bounties are exchanged, but it's always off screen. Like, so for example, you know, Ace got turned in. We've seen plenty of people in Impel down, right? So we just never really see it from the Straw Hats' perspective, because obviously they can't be turned in, you know. And maybe if the protagonists were like Navy, you know, then maybe we'd be like, oh yeah, like, well, I'm here to get my berries and everything like that, right? But we only see it like manifested across Guild. But it's cool. It's like a monkeying of the world government and everything. And I'm gonna make this kind of surprising take from me personally. I think they're more impressive in this chapter than anything we've seen from the Revolutionary Army. But, you know, kind of carrying on from that point, that shocking point I made.
Yeah.
Would you? It was funny to have Hina be like, "Oh yeah, he went off to save Kobe."
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Hina's always been very blunt. But it was nice to see her again. I wish we could see Smoker. I will keep harping on that until he shows up again.
I like Hina's character a lot, though. I've liked her for going back to Alabasta and everything. She's a cool character.
Yeah. So, do you think that Kujaku, because Hina specifically mentions Kujaku went with them to Hachinosu, and both of them reacted to that. Do you think that that's both of their granddaughters, or because there's theories about like who like Suru had her daughter with, and also or had her child with, and then that child had Kujaku. But
yeah,
I think it was pointed out in the previous chapter that Kujaku appeared, and she has like a seagull on her hat that that Sengoku did. So who knows?
Yeah, and did Sengoku's Suru like pull up to Dressrosa together?
It's been a while since
Yeah, no, they did. Yeah, they both pulled up with Fujitora because Suru is there and catched Doflamingo. Sengoku talked with Law, and they all came as a unit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to see more action from her, because we only saw her kind of clean some fodder pirates in Marineford.
Well, I don't think they were even fodder pirates. They were part of Whitebeard's subordinates and everything. So.
Yeah. Yeah, but not a named character. But
no.
So, do you think they're gonna go help out Garp?
I don't know, because that would make me think that Garp needed help, which it doesn't look like he needs right now, but you never know. I think they might. I think it's a 50-50 shot.
And this also gives a reason for Osuru to show up too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just all gonna go in spite of Akainu and everything, which will be kind of interesting there.
Well, speaking of that, there's I think someone pointed out with the translations, like in the Japanese dialect, there's a certain way that Akainu speaks. It's the same that Hibari speaks, so they could be related somehow. So I don't know. Yeah. So there's definitely I think they're gonna do a big setup there, and at the rate this is going, they might actually like show up to help out and everything, and that may be the way for the Garp to get out too, alive. Also, is that his friends show up to help out. Yeah, I mean, if we're power scaling, if we're Sengoku on equal terms with Garp, then yeah, that would be maybe too much for Aokiji to handle. And we don't even really know. I don't remember like Suru ever being damaged in the whole Battle of Marineford, and she was.
I don't think she was.
Yeah, she was out there. So.
Yeah. And she's not mentioned with the other two, but she's usually portrayed with them.
Yeah.
In the art when they're younger.
Yeah, I mean she's up there. In terms of like seniority and rank and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, she might be kind of like the leader of the vice admirals in a way too. They're like kind of the strongest. I know Garp's a little different, but for reasoning why he's still a vice admiral. But and so basically, yeah, we kind of discussed the bounty aspect here, and everything already. But what did you think of Buggy's swaggy ship?
Oh, I would expect nothing less. It reminds me actually a lot of Bartolomeo's ship.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, with Luffy on the front.
Good point. Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's funny. Mihawk and Crocodile reacting the way they did. But I don't know. I found Mihawk in this chapter to be very not out of character, but a lot more meaner than we've seen him in previous chapters or previous stuff.
I think this is the most time we've ever seen him. This is the most characterization we've ever seen him have, to be honest.
I mean, he had his stuff with Zoro and Perona, but he was always kind of more aloof. And even like with Perona, he was like, stay safe out there or whatever when they were going. So yeah, it's almost like he's kind of reacting to the characters that are around him, like trying to match their energy.
Yeah.
Because none of these people are good people.
Yeah, and it's funny. I mean, I like this, how Oda's doing this. It's like a hostage situation, you know, where it's just like, hey, yeah, come back here real quick. We haven't say a word, and they just beat the shit out of him. Like, okay, now change that real quick, you know? While everybody thinks he's like really powerful still, you know, because they want to keep his image up and stuff, but they kind of just torture him in the background. Yeah, because remember, Mihawk and Buggy did clash in Marineford.
Yeah, and it was basically a stalemate.
Yeah. So I think Mihawk took that the wrong way, you know. So it was kind of interesting to see him kind of talk back to them, and he kind of wants more than wealth and power, you know, that Roger's dream has been instilled in the Buggy, you know. While Crocodile and Mihawk don't really have that same desire, in a way.
Yeah,
I find that interesting.
I was thinking about this because we see Crocodile very clearly be like, I want to continue my plan that I was doing in Alabasta for, specifically use the word utopia again, which he says become a strong military state. And I might just have to reread the Cross Guild chapter, but I don't remember exactly why Mihawk joined. So I'm not sure exactly what his goals are, besides just kind of hunting the Marines right now.
Yeah, and I know I might get flamed for this, but Buggy has, in one specific sense, a stronger will, because he has a higher dream than they do, right? Now it might be more in a gaggy way though, right? Where his will and his dream will lead them to a level that they weren't even anticipating, you know, in a similar way with Luffy, right? Because he kind of shares a bond with Shanks, basically, you know, because he's a Yonko now with the strongest swordsman and one of the former warlords of the sea.
Yeah.
As a part of his power base, you know.
Yeah.
So.
But I think this is, you can kind of relate Buggy to Luffy in the way that, like Buggy drew all these people to him, even though it was like through lies and misunderstandings. But he has this following and the same dream that Luffy, well, same goal as Luffy. Luffy's dream is something separate. But and
one of the most iconic moments is when he almost chopped off his head of Logtown too, you know. Right. So this company is something I think Oda's been setting up for a bit, though. Kind of how he views Buggy, you know, because he's one of the few East Blue villains he actually brought back.
Yeah, I mean, you look at, like all the stuff in the community that's been like, oh, Buggy's definitely going to be the Pirate King, even if it's like a meme.
Yeah.
But looking at it now, he's in the running. And I think this is specifically what Oda has been setting up these past couple chapters, like with Kid and Law being defeated. Like they're powerful, but they're not in the running. It's gonna be between all the Yonko now.
Right, unless they have a rebound, which is uncertain at this point, I guess. But I mean, Buggy definitely has a better crew than Kid and Law.
Yeah, but I think I mean they'll definitely be back in the story, but I don't think that like Oda's gonna focus like, okay, these are our people who are going to be going for the One Piece right now.
I'm still holding out a potential that they bounce back, though, that they get back in the ring. That might get us off into a discussion with the time skip and all that. But I the way Kid was talked about at the end of Wano by Killer and stuff, I just think there were a lot of heavy indicators there, in my humble opinion there, with that. So
maybe.
I don't know. We'll see. But what do you think about the Buggy's reaction to red hair Shanks and everything?
In the flashback?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's interesting that like he does have this respect for Shanks. Like he's like flabbergasted that Shanks is like, oh, I'm not going to go for the One Piece now, but I'm still going to be a pirate. And Buggy's like, you're not the next generation's king. I misjudged you. And like, it's that level of respect that's like, because he was basically like, Roger had a special connection with him. He gave him the straw hat and everything. So even though Buggy didn't particularly like him, he had that respect for him.
Yeah.
And I mean, that leads into the revelations of Buggy saying, I want to be king of the pirates. Like not abandoning, like he had neglected his actual dream for all these years, and now it's getting stirred up again.
And it was kind of actualized through Luffy, who's the new Roger, right? That's what kind of set him on this course, basically. What do you think made Shanks not ready to go for it yet? Because it seems he's ready to go now.
I mean, there's the indicator that it could just be the changing tides that with Kaido and Big Mom being defeated. Like, because those are like the last remnants of Zebek. So I don't know if that would particularly focus on if that was like a factor in anything. Or there was, from what I remember, there was something that Shanks and Roger talked about, like privately, that hasn't been revealed. Like why, like Shanks was crying. Do you remember that? So it could be something to do with that. Like Shanks knows something more. And it could also be like, again, we don't really know about Shanks's relation to the Celestial Dragons or the Figureland family or whatever. Like those are just, I don't know exactly. But what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, just still a mystery at this point, and I guess I'm starting to see Shanks is gonna be more in the role of just waiting for Luffy to come across, be ready, and then he's gonna fight him for it, basically. That's kind of how I see it, in a way. That was kind of the sense and the vibe I got from these chapter sections there, at least. But, and it was funny, though, how, like, Mihawk's like, do you think we're just gonna carry you to the top,
Yeah.
And it makes me think if Buggy's crew is gonna have a clash with the red hair pirates at all.
Oh gosh, like just have like a tease or we see Mihawk and Shanks spar. That would cause the Mihawk fanboys to foam at the mouth.
Yeah, and then everybody would be going crazy. Yeah, and then Buggy could get his little moment too. Crocodile can have a good clash with Ben Beckman or some shit. Who knows,
Yeah.
There's a lot Oda, and I think that's something Oda is probably itching to do right now. Because, like, look at all these setups we've been getting from Kid v Shanks, Law v Blackbeard, and then Garp versus Kuzan. There's, like, a lot of crazy matchups that have been going on lately,
Yeah, well, this is definitely setting up for the final arc. about what's going to be going on.
Yeah, which we kind of get into it where basically Buggy, talks in the speech and everything, which is kind of, it's kind of reminiscent of Whitebeard telling them that the One Piece is real.
I had that exact same thought. Yeah.
So which is pretty hilarious actually, because and then you see Crocodile and Mihawk just pissed off, like trying to stop him,
Yeah. Like I think that's like the first time we've seen Mihawk sweat. It's probably from Buggy's Conqueror hockey that leaked out.
Yeah, and then because when Whitebeard did talk to Luffy and Buggy though in Marineford in a special way.
Yeah.
So. And then like the worst part of the chapter, what do you think of the revolutionary part right here?
You're just shitting on the revolutionaries all the time, aren't you?
Always will to the end of the series.
First things first. I like 2 of the designs for the vice captains. I like the cow guy. And I like the girl with the robot arm, because that's like a level of stuff. It's a level of cybernetics that we haven't really seen. It's like somewhere in between like Frankie and it's not sophisticated as Frankie's. So
yeah,
I thought that was interesting, but it makes sense that this fat, like Humpty Dumpty ass looking thing is Lindbergh's. And then the one guy, Karasu's subordinate, reminds me of like, is he eating the binoculars? It reminded me of Wapple's fruit, but then I'm like, Wapple's alive, so I don't know exactly what's going on there, but yeah, and then we get Sabo.
Okay, good or bad with the fake out death?
I mean, we knew Sabo wasn't gonna die. We had way too much to do.
Right. Okay, but does it kind of get to a point where you're just like, can you stop with the fake out death?
We're so far into the series; it's just expected at this point. And, I mean, it was a good cliffhanger with the destruction of Lulusia Kingdom, but it's like, hey, the people that you wanted to survive survived. I think like the only person was like Moda from the Ace cover story. But yeah, I didn't really like, he said that he wasn't even on Lulusia when it happened, so I guess he was just near it. So I don't know.
So isn't this the third fake out in regard to Sabo though? Where flashback Sabo, we thought he was dead. Referee fake out, and we thought something bad happened to him, that he may have died. And then we got this as another fake out with Sabo.
Oh yeah, I'm just not a fan of Sabo in general.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's getting ridiculous when you put it like that.
That's what I mean. Unless Oda's like setting up like fake out. Oh wait, he's dead.
Yeah.
Then I'd be okay with it. It retroactively makes it good. But right now it's not. I'd say it's like really the only negative thing in this arc so far, to be honest. Which you kind of say it for me because I just don't like the revolutionaries too. So it just kind of compounds here, So which is fine. Every arc's have its shortcoming. It's not a big deal, but that's just something that kind of got on my nerves a little bit.
Yeah. But I'm interested to see what is going to be revealed with Sabo at the end of the chapter. So, do you have any thoughts on that?
I'd say potentially he knows that there's a ruler, basically. I think that's kind of been the going theory, that M's a thing.
Yeah. There's that, and maybe like what actually happened with Cobra. And The way that I am looking at this right now, I don't think that the revolutionaries have the poneglyph, the final one. Just because they're all over the place, they don't have like a set base, or unless like one of them is running around the world in the black ship making the whirlpools or anything. Although I did see a post on Reddit that was saying like, oh, Luffy ran into that person in the first or second chapter or whatever when his ship got sucked into the whirlpool. That would be a twist. That'd be
dope.
Yeah,
I like that a lot.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that this could potentially get off-screened. This information. What about you?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be off-screen, and then I think we're gonna probably jump back to Garb pretty soon.
I'm just waiting to go back to Egghead. I mean, it's been like 3 or 4 chapters now that we haven't been there. It feels like forever though with all the breaks.
Yeah, that's true. So, man, that's probably Egghead or Garb, one of the two. Because those are, I assume they're gonna have to wrap up the Garb thing before we wrap up Egghead, though. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Just, it was a good chapter. I think obviously the cross guild stuff I thought was the best part. I also did it like the Marine part too. I thought that was really good. Again, I'm kind of a hater when it comes to revolutionaries. I just don't really think they're interesting, and they don't do much of anything, and I don't care for Sabo either, so
yeah.
That's just the low part of the chapter for me, though. Yeah, and I hate the fake out death, but yeah. What are your thoughts overall?
Yeah, I mean, in regards to the revolutionaries, the best thing that we've seen with them is them liberating Lulusia. That's basically it.
Yep.
Like they haven't. They're always just in the background doing stuff. I think they need to be brought more to the forefront, which is what I think Oda's doing. So, I think we need to make a theory about what's going to happen on Egghead, but with that information, I think whatever happens there, I think that's the point that the revolutionaries are going to make their move, especially if they know what's going on with Mary Joie.
Well, they did liberate Lucia, but at the same time, it just got obliterated and destroyed. So
we did it, Patrick. We saved the city.
So their 1W kind of turned into an L.
Yeah.
So,
but
that's it.
Yeah. Final thought. Buggy's gonna be the king of the pirates.
Yeah. I think the Cross Guild has far more potential than the Revolutionaries, for sure. Yeah, definitely.
Well, I think that Luffy's gonna get to it first, because whatever his dream entails, the King of the Pirates is just a stepping stone. So once he gets it, he might just be like, "Oh, I don't care about it anymore. Buggy, you can be it."
Yeah. And in a similar vein, I think Buggy's going to sit in the throne of M. I think there's a higher chance Buggy sits in it than Dragon at this point,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, anyways. So, everyone, thank you for listening. And, unfortunately, we are on break. But the Egghead Island train will continue to go forward into hype. So, please like and subscribe if you haven't. This is Akainu Fanboy. See you later, and Geboss.
See you later.
Peace.